In this tutorial we're going to look at exemption codes. Exemption codes relate to legislation such as the Freedom of Information Act, the Environmental Information Regulations and the Data Protection Act. Basically, if we just fire up a example, so here we're just firing up a letter from the desktop, and then we'll click the eRedact toolbar. So eRedact will now take the letter into the edit environment. Now eRedact can be configured to basically prompt the user every redaction that's applied. In this instance we've got exemption codes turned on, so as I draw a rectangle to say remove this personal information, eRedact will say okay, you've made a redaction. It will actually prompt me with this window to say which exemption code would you like to add to that particular redaction. So what eRedact is doing is ensuring that any redacted files are future-proof from an audit perspective, and that it is quite apparent why information has been removed from the original copy. So here if we click the add button, you'll see that we're covering European Parliament FOI, Ireland FOI, Scottish FOI, UK Data Protection Act, UK Environmental Information Regulation Act and UK FOI. So in this instance we'll add a UK Freedom of Information exemption code. We'll add to section 40, which it comes up with a description of personal information. Click OK, and I think we'll just smarten that up by moving the exemption code off the actual redaction. So it's quite clear to see now the reason we've removed footprint solutions is because it relates to section 40 personal information. So if we were going through the rest of the file, we'll just select the rectangular redaction box again. Again, you will see as soon as I release the rectangle, it's asking me for the exemption code. The solution can actually be configured if you're primarily removing a lot of personal information to remember the previous exemption code. So if that particular feature was switched on, it would have remembered from the previous redaction that it was still section 40 information we're removing. And just for completeness, we'll add a stamp to say, I'll use a wax style stamp to say it's FOI compliant. In this instance we won't add an exemption code to the stamp, although the user could add a section 40 to that stamp to say that every redaction within the document related to personal information. As I say, in this instance we won't add an FOI reason for the stamp. We're in working copy now. We just need to click the basically click the next button, and that will ask us where we want to save the redacted copy. So it's an internal letter, and we'll just throw that onto the desktop. Because it's got colour stamps in here and it's recognising that it's quite high res, it's asking if we want to compress the image in the interests of preserving the overall file size of the output files. We'll basically compress that file to optimise the output, and we'll use the nearest available colour range so that again we're not increasing the output file size. If you were using redaction for high-end colour photography or something, you would increase the number of colours in the image, but you would as a result end up with a larger file. If you're not interested in these options, you could always in future don't show this dialog box. So again, we've made it very user friendly. So click the output. It's now asking us for an audit copy, and this is quite important because this audit copy, again in the interest of being future proof and for a person who's removed information to be fully auditable moving forward, the audit copy will place a translucent square over where the redacted copy removes all of the content. So if we just click next to generate the audit copy, we'll put that on the desktop with the redacted copy, and that's the operation finished. So eRedact now will drop out. We're back to the original PDF with the sensitive information clearly visible. So if we shut that file down, and then open the redacted copy document, you can see in there that basically the stamp's been made black and white because this is redacted copy. Just go to tile vertically, minimize, Let's have a look at the audit copy output now, where we should see translucent boxes and the stamps in full colour. So if we look at the redacted copy file, we can clearly see that all the information has been removed, and we have the exemption codes of section 40. If we go back to the audit copy, we've got the same exemption codes, but in this instance what is quite nice is that the audit copy allows the reason that we've added a section 40, i.e. the fact that it was a personal address at the head of the letter and it was a signature at the bottom of the letter, is clearly seen and can be compared with the redacted copy file. So again, the product is very auditable, and as a consequence of this we have many high profile central government clients using eRedact as opposed to other redaction solutions. The audit copy cannot really be understated. It's a very important document in terms of legal admissibility. So that's it. We take care of the exemption codes so that you don't have to. So legislatively the product is always kept up to date, and any changes in legislation are released as soon as that legislation comes into effect, so that you can maintain legal admissibility with high degree of confidence that you're meeting all your legislative requirements from FOI, EIR and DPA regs perspectives. Okay, thank you.